Hello and welcome back to Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert. It's been a couple of weeks since we did a video, but we've got this beautiful blue sky. The grass is looking really green and firm underfoot. So I thought today I'd show you how to verticut like a pro and avoid the amateur mistakes. So without further ado, let's do it. Okay, so the first lesson we're going to learn today in how to verticut like a pro is to understand what verticutting actually is. It can be interpreted two different ways. The first way is that we're verticutting with a verticutter using mounted blades which are vertical, which are going to go through the grass in a vertical fashion. And the second way you can interpret it is that we're verticutting the grass to make the grass stand up vertically, so the cylinder, when it goes over it, or the rotary, can cut it even better. But at no point, the difference between a verticut and a scarify is that this should never enter the soil. Once you enter the soil, it becomes a scarify and you could do damage, and at this time of the year we're not got the same recovery rate as we would do if we were doing it in March or April. We've got the whole summer ahead of us. If we damage those crowns now, there could be no way back for us. So that is the fundamental thing of verticutting, is that we're getting everything stood up vertically and we're going through with vertical blades. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to actually get on with the verticutting. Now the next lesson we're going to learn in verticutting like a pro is not starting off too deep. So we're going to do a couple of test runs. We're going to start off quite high, and if we're happy with that and we can see what's coming out, what we can do is we can look in the box, see what's come out. If there's loads of necrotic and old growth come out, then we're probably a bit too deep. But what we want to be looking for is just grass in this one, because all we're doing is removing side shoots so it all stands up vertically. So what we don't want to do is end up scarifying it, because what we can't do is put the grass back. So what we're going to do is just put the setting there on the highest on the verticutting side, and I'm just going to do a run up there, and then if I'm happy I'll just stay at that and come back down and we'll carry on. And one difference between a verticut and a scarify is that when you verticut your lawn, you shouldn't know you've actually been. When you've scarified, you know you've done a scarify because it looks awful, but with a verticut you should be enhancing the lawn, not detracting from it. Okay, so before we start the verticutting, let's just have a walk over. I'm really happy with this. About 3 weeks ago I put some Summer Secret on and it's just worked an absolute treat. We had all the rain washing it through, but look at it under the tree, it's perfect. It's not perfect, there's no such thing as perfect lawn. I keep telling people that I should listen to me on advice. That is the tree dripping on it, so it just always goes, and the neighbour put some moss killer on there or something, some kind of moss product, and got it on there and it's killed it off. But in the main, under the tree, it's actually kind of looks better colour than in the sun. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's just the best it's ever looked. It's 2 years since we seeded it this week, so it's come a long way since then, but it's just getting better and better. So let's crack on with that verticutting. Okay, so I'm just making my way back, and then we'll have a quick look how it looks. We'll have a look in the box and see what we've brought up. So before I show you the box, we can see that we've done these two stripes, but it doesn't look too much different than that, and that's good because it means we've not done any damage, and I'm happy with what I've seen in the box already, but I'll show you in a sec what we've pulled out off that two stripes. Okay, so that's the two stripes done. You can see all we've pulled out there is mainly green grass shoots, which is what we wanted. We don't want that grass box full of necrotic and brown and dead growth, because that means we've gone too deep. So that is absolutely perfect. Okay, so that's the verticutting done. Now another tip for you is that if when you verticut you have to get your rake out to rake up what you've left behind, if you haven't got a front box, then you've gone too deep, because if I was to spread out this box or this whole lawn, I could quite easily pick it up with my rotary lawnmower. So if you can't do that, then you've gone too deep and you've ended up scarifying your lawn, and that's one mistake that an amateur would make. Okay, so that's the full box, what we've taken out, and as you can see, all in the main, it's just side shoots, what we call tillers, and this is the purpose of verticutting. That's what we want to remove today, not the dead growth, as I said before. So that is absolutely great. So let's go and have a look now how it looks. and I'll show you that it looks like we've not even been. So as I was saying just before, the difference between a verticut and a Scarify is that as we walk over the lawn, and we can see it's been verticut because we've got those lines, all those lovely little lines which the air can now go through, and when we put our products on shortly, they're going to get in even easier. We don't even look like we've been. So that is the key to a good professional verticut, is that the customer or myself or you don't even know that you've done it. Okay, so we're just about to go on with the cylinder mower, put the attachment back in. Now the most important thing to remember after you've verticut and you put the cylinder cartridge back in is to raise your height back up on the right hand side to your desired height, because what we don't want to be doing is leaving it down where it was and setting off and taking away all this lovely lawn. So what I've done is got it set at 22 mil, so just raising it up slightly, just looks better this time of year, and it's going to hide any worm casts a little bit better as well. So without further ado, let's go, because time is pressing. Well, I think if Bob Ross was around, he'd say, "Oh, right, yeah." So that's looking really nice and really firm underfoot as well. Feel like I'm stood on terra firma as always, rather than a load of grass and a load of thatch and sinking down. If I move my foot away, you can't even see where I was stood. Let's just have a look over here. Yeah, you can just see those vertical lines ever so slightly. So you don't know where we've been. That's the idea. Remember, if you're vertical, you should leave no evidence behind. Even under this area, we're in the shade. Absolutely fine. Bit of worm cast damage there. Leaving it long to counteract that. Well, that's a great thing with dwarf rye, is that we can cut it short if we want over a few cuts, or then just reverse it and leave it long. Either way, we've got that versatility if we need that extra growth or extra shortness, depending on the time of year. So yeah, so let's go and take all this, what we've learnt on how to verticut like a pro, round the back, because we're four or so weeks on from when we did our renovations, and it's really come good, so I want to show you that next. Before we go around the back, just show you up close. You see that as soon as I press down, we're at the soil, open it up, and there's the soil. So nice and short, going into autumn, looking absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're now in the back garden lawn, looking absolutely swell after our renovation a few weeks ago. So same again, we're just on the highest verticutting setting with the verticutting cartridge, and we're just working our way over, doing quadruple stripes today, getting our nice big stripes in. And just like round the front, the grass box in the back is mainly side shoots, the tillers of the grass plant, not much necrotic growth in there. And as we look into the sward, we can just see the gentle lines of the verticutter, leaving no evidence behind that we've actually done it. And again, make sure you raise the height of your attachment back to where you want it, because the last thing you need to do when your lawn's looking this good is to go on and scalp it after you've verticut it. Okay, so that's the cylinder cut done, and if we just look up close, we can see there's very little evidence that we've actually verticut the lawn, but we have, and it's looking absolutely great. So I just wanted to share with you some news from last week. Me and Joshua from Staunts on the Grass, who's a retired ex-pro footballer, he had to retire due to injury. He'd been watching my videos for all these years and I've made it look so easy. He's decided to do it himself and he's absolutely smashing it. I see his photos all the time and they look as good as mine, if not better. So we met up and we went to Groundsfest, which is a turf show showing all turf stuff related, machines, strimmers, blowers, whatever, you name it. And who did we meet while we were there? Robbie from Premier Lawn. So I'll just show you a picture of us all getting together and having a chat. So it was good to meet Robbie and Jason there after 4 years of watching each of his videos. It was finally good to meet in person. And while we were there, we met a lad from Gibraltar who'd flown specially over with his dad for his birthday to go to the turf show. And he came over and said he watches all my videos. So we do have a fan in Europe, so we are a global channel after all. So it was great to meet you, mate. Hopefully you got back all right and good luck going forward with the gardening. All right, so we've done the verticutting bit now. It's time to go on with some products. We've opened up that grass profile, lovely, so we can get the products right in after a water. So we've got 2 new products today for you. We've got Winter Shield and Refine, along with Dan's Winter Magic, Wetting Agent H2Go, Stella, Grace and Orbit. Orbit is really good at this time of year because we've got the beeswax extract in there, which is really going to pick up more of these rays that we've got behind us and help us more in the shade as well going forward. As we can see in that corner over there behind me, it's done great as well, and that is looking just as good as this as we saw earlier. So we're going to get this on. It's got quite a bit of iron in, just give us a nice winter colour as well, and some other bits and bobs in there to keep disease at bay. Because we're not really using fungicides anymore, we need to keep coming up with ways to keep disease at bay. Disease, unfortunately, is a part of every life form, and grass is no different. So we can cut out the use of fungicides. The world's going to be in a much better place going forward, and I please those eco warriors. So we're going to get this sprayed on. Like I said, we'll give it a water in, and then that's job done, video done. Alright, so I'm just going to water this lawn now. What I'll do is next time we come, get some reduce on as well, keep that dew off in the mornings, because I'm not going to come out and switch it or brush it, and neither's the customer Howard. So that's one way as well we can keep disease down. So we'll get that on next time. That has to go on as a standalone treatment because we don't want to water that in after, because it needs to stick on the leaf. And obviously the more you mow, the more you take off, so you need regular applications of that. So we'll get that on as well, and then that'll see this lawn into the autumn quite well. So hope you've enjoyed this one on how to verticut like a pro, and we'll see you next time here on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert. Bye for now.